little Christmas tree, me and the boss are at the Entry Racecourse. So it's simple, beautiful, isn't it? This is how we do Christmas do's. So we're having the day out at the Entry Races. It's a bit of a treat, just me and the wife. So we had an amazing day at Entry Racecourse. If anybody's thinking about it for Boxing Day next year, I can't recommend it enough. It's been absolutely fabulous, we've been well looked after. And welcome back. Hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas. We're in that little bit of a lull between Christmas and New Year now. I've got to be honest with you, I was a little bit worse for wear yesterday, so didn't manage to leave the house. But we had some wild winds last night. So we're out and about today. I'm going to check some of these hives, make sure they're still where they should be, and check the feed while we're at it. It is blowing really hard, so I don't know how much audio we're going to get, so I apologise in advance, but we'll go and see what's happening. So as you can see in here, the winds are still pretty high, and it's put a massive amount of rain down. But it's still not yet cold. I've already been around a couple of sites to check the feed, and they are hammering it. You can see why I'm not bringing the truck down here, can't you? Looks like some numpties already got stuck. Yeah, that was me. So some of you may recognise we're back at one of our clover sites, but luckily everything looks as though it should be. Obviously, because I can't bring the truck down here, I'm struggling to carry all the fondant, so it's a case of using whatever you've got. See, that's a worrying sign. Although there's still plenty of weight in these hives, they are eating the fondant pretty quick. Thank you to all those who've liked and subscribed and watched our last video. And if you haven't done so already, please do, it does help us immensely. So it must be the week for all things equine. I've just been to one of our sites, which is luckily literally 2 minutes away from home. And it's a stud farm for racehorses. They do have some quite well-known horses. I'll put a little picture of some of them here. We do only have a couple of hives on this site, and as a rule we wouldn't normally do that, but we do make some exceptions. But as a little gesture, we've also painted these hives in the racing colours, as you can see. As well as this yard, we've also been to another stable yard just down the road, which also is one of our hive adoptees. Shameless plug there, but if anyone is interested, any businesses or individuals, we do offer hive adoption on our website. I'll put a link in the description below. Wow, I mean, absolutely amazed. We've gained over 600 subscribers literally overnight. Thank you to every single one of you for taking the time to come over and view our channel, for obviously all the likes and all the subscribes. And thank you so much to Ollie for putting us on his channel and sending you all our way. So I was going to do a little video today about all the jobs we do in the off season, which it is now. We're going to take you in the workshop and show you the frame building, things like that. But it seems like the ideal opportunity to sit down and do a bit of a Q&A and how we got into beekeeping. We've got lots of questions from our new subscribers, so let's go ahead and answer a few. So the first one is, how long have you been a beekeeper and what got you started? So, a bit of a strange one really. So in 2016, I had a very serious accident whilst at work. A life-changing accident, unfortunately. So subsequently for that, I had a lot of time off work. I always liked the idea of keeping bees, but never really had the opportunity or the time to do so. Obviously, with all this spare time on my hands, it was the ideal opportunity to purchase my first hive from a friend locally. So me and my stepson went along, picked this box of bees up, brought them back in the car, and then proceeded to teach ourselves beekeeping. So we are completely self-taught right from the start. So a few years down the line, one hive subsequently turned to 20, and my wife was then telling me I needed to calm down. I thought I was going to take over the world at this point with what was ultimately a couple of buckets of honey. So we decided to do a local farmers market. Show you a little picture here of our original setup. So that day we literally sold out of every jar of honey. So that was what we needed to kind of push us forward and make us realise, yeah, what we're doing is potentially the right thing. Obviously at this point I didn't really want to do anything else. When I was 20 hours in, I couldn't go back to work as I was before, so it seemed like a sensible option. So here we are today, several years later, with sites all over Lancashire and Merseyside. We're producing a large variety of honeys. Some I've already touched on, the rapeseed and the sunflower and the heather and what. What's my favourite honey? So my go-to breakfast honey would be a soft set rapeseed honey. I haven't got a sweet tooth actually, but I do like it on a nice piece of toast, or even stirred into a fruit tea or something like that. It's just a fantastic all-round honey. Can you show us a day in the life of a beekeeper? So we're pretty short of content in the winter months. There's not a lot going on with the bees, as I've already said. But we've got loads and loads of exciting things planned for the spring and summer. So once it warms up and the bees become active again, we've got loads in the pipeline. So would love to see how you extract honey from hive to jar. So again, in spring and summer, once we start harvesting the honey from the bees from our sites, we'll bring you back here and we'll show you inside our honey house and actually extracting the honey from our supers. What do you feed your bees in winter? So if you probably saw in the first vlog, we feed them a baker's fondant or cake, ultimately it's cake icing. So the bees can consume this straight away with it, having to process it in the colder weather. But once we get into spring, we'll start feeding our bees a 2-to-1 sugar syrup. This will stimulate the queen to start laying. We start building up our hives then, ready for the natural nectar flow in spring. How do you choose your sites? Good question. So ultimately, it's what we are set to gain from it. So again, the rapeseed, field beans, heather. But this year we're also hitting the clover sites and some SFI sites, which are sites set aside for pollinators and birds and things like that, with loads of natural wildflowers and nectar. So what type of hives do you use? We just use a British national hive. There's plenty of parts and equipment out there for a national hive. It's nothing specialised and it's readily available. Where do you sell your honey? So we have an online store where we can post out if you order online. I'll put a link in the description to our store, and we also have a list of our local stockists online as well. But if you are a potential stockist, and you're more than welcome to get in touch. Any tips for someone starting out beekeeping? I would recommend, completely opposite to what I did, so this is why I can recommend it, is either getting yourself an experienced mentor, someone who has the time to kind of hold your hand a little bit and guide you through it for your first couple of years, or approach one of your local beekeeping organisations. Our local one, there's Croston and Southport Beekeepers and obviously Preston, but you will find a local beekeeping organisation if you search online. What's the biggest lesson you've learned? Another great question. It's a misconception that it's easy, almost money for nothing, because the bees are naturally bringing in the honey. There's a hell of a lot of work involved in beekeeping, and more so with bee farming. As you'll see as we go through next year, when we're moving our hives around in our trailer, a lot of early starts, a lot of late evenings, and if the weather doesn't play a ball, a lot of headaches as well. But if you have any more questions, please add them in the comments box and I will try and answer every single one that comes in, and we'll keep bringing you the content. Good morning, New Year's Eve. Just out for a little walk with the girls. Baby's taking baby for a walk. So I've come into the honey house for a couple of hours just to get a few jobs done. We're having a tidy up post Christmas, sorting the stock shelves out, and just getting some orders together that's coming over Christmas. As you can see, we've still got supers to extract from last year, so these are all full of honey, and we'll have to get these done prior to spring, prior to the to next year's crop starting to come in. We've also given the extractor a good blitz and our jarring machine, so that's all good to go when we need it. So as you can see, the shelves are pretty empty at the moment. We've run them right down over Christmas and New Year, but we'll be getting the jarring machine out again soon. We've got plenty of honey in stock, so we'll get that jarred up and back onto the shelves, ready to go out for the hay fever season. As you can see, this is some of our delicious honey still waiting to extract. So we're still very much a small family run business, so everything is done literally by us, by hand. And there we go, all boxed up, ready for labels.